Hey Libra, I'm Eleanor and welcome to Peaches by Starlight Tarot. This is your weekly pick-a-card reading where we will be exploring your monthly energy of Page of Cups, which is going to be a new beginning, particularly like a spiritual awakening type thing, but it's going to be an expansion, a heart expansion, and just the beginning glimmers of that. And your weekly energy of Dragonfly. I used a child's deck because of this childlike energy. This is I Can Pretend. This is going to be all about your imagination. So your annual and your monthly readings are linked below if you want to see where I shuffled on camera and pulled these out and talked more about them. To explore this week, we are using the Botanical Inspirations and the Bosch Tarot. Stack 1, Stack 2, Stack 3. They're linked below so you can skip right ahead. I keep saying linked today. I think I mean to say time-stamped below, so you can skip ahead. You can choose one or as many as you like. If they don't resonate or they seem too short, you can order a personal reading through my Etsy page. That will be much more in-depth and involved than these little snippets of readings. Share with a friend if you hear something that you think might help them. And let's get started. Libra Stack 1. 3 of Cups. The Magician. And Forget-Me-Nots. So with Forget-Me-Nots, there's a lot of 6 of Cups energy with that, about nostalgia and reminiscing. And with imagination, that really ties in, and yeah, there's definitely a walk down memory lane here, especially with the 3 of Cups. It's almost as though you're reminiscing and walking down memory lane with the people that were there, and with your battle mates, and with your battle buddy is the word I want to say, and your crewmates, all those things. Now the Magician, though, does more than reminisce and envision and visualize, but the Magician takes things from that ethereal realm of idea and then grounds them and gives them form in reality. So you are giving form to this energy. And so there is a sense of giving it form by connecting with people that were there and reliving it and reminiscing and having that memory lane thing. But there's also, I want to talk about the way that if you look back at how compare your life to where it is now to where it was at some point, and how where you have come, how you may not recognize it. There's a potential for your mind to be blown where you look at how far it is and how impossible this was from the perspective of where you were at that time, and how you have achieved what it is that you wanted, but you didn't do it overnight, and so you haven't recognized it. So there's a chance here to recognize what you've accomplished, and a chance to recognize that you have created an entirely new life, but you didn't do it. You didn't wake up and just have it be different. It's like, to put in perspective how large a life is, like the Titanic. You can't just steer it like on a dime. That does happen. Sometimes the universe does uproot us on a dime. But in this situation, it's talking about making changes in your life, that it's a ship that you have to steer so slowly, and that so much has to move and shift and get out of the way in order to make this happen. And so you aren't going to it's so agonizingly slow that you may not recognize it as it's happening. One person may move out here. You may quit doing this activity there. You may take a new job here. And all these tiny little changes, like cell turnover, one little change after another, that you aren't recognizing it. And so they're asking you to look and see now and wake up and put it all together, put all the pieces together and see the bigger picture of what it is that you created and how far you've come. Okay, stack 2, 5 of Swords, 10 of Wands, and Apple Blossoms. So Apple Blossom, it's a call to open your eyes to the abundance that's all around you. And I feel like the blockages to you seeing that is to the degree to where you've been carrying the burdens of others and being blocked from seeing the abundance in your life because you may be very entwined and hung up on other people's issues and problems, and trying to be a helper and trying to take the load off of other people, and you are not savoring and enjoying the sweetness of what's around you and available to you and to yourself. And so you're using up a lot of mental energy. And so there's really no wonder that you don't feel abundant. Okay? So they're wanting you to pick your battles, lay down some of the burdens that aren't yours. What are you taking responsibility for that isn't yours? Choose the things that will bring you the most reward and drop the things that are costing you more than they're bringing you. Like the apple blossom. Pick the sweetest fruit. Pick the what's going to have the highest yield of juice for you. And when you regain that energy and you regain that sense of abundance and sweetness, then that is going to reopen your imagination, and it's going to reopen the door for this childlike energy so that you can move forward again. Because right now it's like a very burdened by adulting. Okay. And so it's how can you trim off? I mean, obviously if you are an adult, and so there are things that you do have to do, but how much of it really is for you to do, and how much of it can you lay down? They want you to make those cuts and make those trims and decide what are you taking on that is for someone else. Okay? Stack 3, you have the 7 of Wands, 8 of Pentacles, Gloxinia. When Gloxinia comes out, it is kind of like a love at first sight card, and it's like there's an energy here of where the connections that you make at this time have the potential to have lifelong impacts on your heart. And whether or not they last or not, knowing them is going to permanently change you. And so when we get into that type of energy, there might be this desire to put everything on hold and dive into that thoroughly. But the message here is that that will be for the rest of your life. That energy, whether it's the impact of it or whether it's the relationship itself, they're telling me that you have lots of tomorrows, lots of time. And so with this 8 of Pentacles, there is a sense that this time is a time of real dedication and persistent effort, and that you are going to want to preserve your energy for whatever that is. That there's something that you're working hard for, and that if you don't protect and preserve that effort and preserve that energy for that effort and for that pursuit, then that thing that you're working towards could be lost. And so the guidance is to look long term and to use this visualization energy to have that as more of a goal, to have that as your North Star, to have that as something that you want to work towards and look forward to, while this week is more of a stay the course, stay the work week, and be persistent and perseverant on the thing that you're working on, and that is perfectly you are supposed to visualize, are supposed to pretend, and are supposed to imagine what this future looks like and get excited for it and get your juices flowing for it and get salivating for it. But to protect still your physical energy during this week towards this thing that you're dedicated and pursuing. Okay? So I'll talk to you in a week. Thank you.